Joe here, Dr. Joe Show. Long day of work, 12 hours, just got in, and I had to record this tonight. Why? Well, things are fresh on my mind, and I don't want to lose them. Let's start with our last episode. Well, not the special edition, the one right before that. Cigar Terminal. I swear to God, posting that video, I was practically up all night thinking about it. I'm the kind of person who 101% sure is not sure enough. I'm thinking and rolling things around in my head and saying to myself, God, what if I'm wrong, But then I kept thinking, what am I, crazy? I put that Partagas in my mouth. It tasted like I licked a wet sock, and then I opened it up, and it looked like, your cigars. You've been collecting them and smoking them for 8 years now, working at a cigar shop for over 3. I have experience here, and experience in Cuban cigars. Ordering them for years and smoking them for years, and I just knew the minute I put this thing in my mouth, something wasn't right. Seeing them all lined up together, 4 different brands, the same exact shade, something was very wrong with that, okay? I opened my humidor last night, looked inside. If you look at my humidor episode, you'll see all the different Cuban cigars I have on top, all different shades, a whole array of browns, It just shouldn't be like that. And then the fellow who actually mailed me the cigar for episode 3, the Bolivar, we're in touch, and we're emailing back and forth. And we put together a little kind of thing of just everything that we found wrong, okay? Now, the Bolivar box alone, okay, we saw that the embossing was really bad, okay? And I can explain this now. The embossing was really bad. The edging, the stickers that you stick on a dress box to make it look all pretty, all that detailed decal stuff, that was all like out of whack. It didn't line up when you closed the lid. It was sloppily done. The engraving was weak. The Cuban seal was in the wrong effing place, okay? The cedar sheet had a notch cut out instead of a round crescent shape. The list goes on. The band on the cigar was cut straight instead of having a rounded tab. That's just off the top of my head. But then I recalled he had sent me some pictures of the other boxes that the other cigars came from. The Partagas, I kept calling it a Corona yesterday, only because by size I forgot the exact shape. It was a petite Corona, Punch, Petite Corona del Punch. Petite Corona del Punch. That box had a cedar sheet with the thing cut out. There were all sorts of other latches that didn't say Schmale Germany. Now, we know any one of these things, or even 2 of them on a box, sometimes doesn't mean it's 100% fake, except for the cedar sheet. I'm starting to think the cedar sheet thing is a definite red light. The more and more I look at boxes, the more boxes I see from people, I see that very rarely, and I think I have a bit of an explanation for it. We'll get to that. The stickers, too, the whole thing. The Schmale Germany is another story. That's an ongoing thing in the forums. It has to do with the supplier of the latches, which has always been Schmale Germany. It's always been this company. There's a whole discussion. Maybe they found the latches cheaper somewhere else and they're bringing them in without really telling the other party, or they're using both now, or some of the latches are defective. It's always possible, especially a latch that doesn't say, let's say you have the latches that say Italy. Then you have the latches that are blank. I'd rather get a latch that was blank, personally, because that could simply mean the latch went through the production line without getting hit with the stamp. Now, that's much more plausible than saying a latch in the German production line got engraved Italy. Okay? All sorts of discrepancies, all sorts of problems. Then the cigars themselves. No smell, no aroma. Dead. No aroma. But even that doesn't mean they're fake. You got to say, wait a second, maybe they're just dry, maybe they're just dead cigars, maybe they're in their sick period. There's so many excuses that the company will give you, or that you make up in your own head to try to, because you don't want to believe they're fake. No one wants to believe they got a box of fake cigars. Shit, I don't even buy them, and I don't want to believe they're fake. You know? Fake cigars suck. They really fucking do, man. They really do. Especially bad fake cigars. And these were awful. Other discrepancies. Box dates that just seemed way too young, okay? I mean, it just seems odd that, you know what, when a special product comes out, like, let's say this year's Boulevard, the Boulevard jar, that's a 2010 release? I think it's 2010. I'm saying maybe it's 2011. Either way, the point is, a year goes by before we can even get our hands on that stuff because it's only in the area that it's meant to be produced for, regional editions. Other cigars, regular cigars, are a little different. They're a little different, of course. But to see a box that has a November 2011 box date end up in the United States with a January, in January, that's a little quick, okay? Before I get to a little discovery, not really discovery, but a little education that was bestowed upon me concerning these boxes and all that. You know, we saw the special edition with bands, how some places may get their bands, buy them online. There are other ways, and of course that doesn't answer what about the boxes. So before we get to that in this little quick episode of Fake or Find, I was thinking about all this today at work, and it dawned upon me. Pete Johnson. Pete Johnson. You don't get it yet. Any of you know Tatuaje? I'm sure a lot of you know Tatuaje, one of my favorite non-Cuban cigar brands. I will never stop smoking those. Pete, if all the Cuban tobacco fields burn down tomorrow, as long as I have Tatuajes, I'll be okay. I love Cuban cigars. Tatuajes are always on the list of tops. They're just dynamite. Pete Johnson goes to great lengths to produce his cigars in the Cuban tradition, okay? From the boxes and bands and packaging, if you know about his packaging is better than the Cuban packaging. It's better than the fake Cuban packaging, definitely. Sometimes it's better than the real Cuban packaging. He does the notch cutouts in the cedar, the wax paper strips over the bands, double layers of cedar. You know, he uses latches from Schmale, Germany.